Yes, I'm a matchmaker. I'm a dating and love coach. I've helped over 1,600 people get married in the last 4 years. I own a program called Last Year Single, and I also have a vacation brand called Last Trip Single. And that's where I am right now in Cartagena on a singles retreat. I have always loved love and wanted to be the wing woman and the matchmaker. I helped 15 of my friends get married, and I was like, hey, this is a business. And so I launched that business during COVID, and it just took off, and it has been gangbusters ever since. Well, May December romances, and Bill's romance would be more of a May millennium romance because there's almost 50 years age difference, but it's usually considered anywhere from 15 years on. And the reason why they call it May December is because people are in different seasons of life. And I think that's really important to keep in mind. So it's not about matching ages. Like, it's not like we have to be the same age, but we're in different seasons of life, which means we want different things, right? And so 95% of marriages that have more of a 15-year age gap actually end in divorce, because what looks cute at 35 and 50 years old, so I'm 35, you're 50, it's not as easy to navigate when, I'm 50 and you're 65, and then just keep doing the math up and up and up, right? And I will tell you, my experience as a matchmaker is I'm very hard pressed to sell women, just regular women, because we're talking about what we associate with influencers, right? These huge age gaps that we associate with people with prestige and money and wealth, because it's a transactional relationship. But regular relationships for regular people, I'm very hard pressed to sell a possible introduction that is more than 6 years. Like, we're in like a 6-7 year age gap right now that people feel comfortable with, because women are so afraid to become caretakers. Like, oh, yes, I might, really fall in love with this guy right now, but he's so much older than me. What's it going to look like when, 10 years from now, I'm a caretaker? And so they really just don't want to do it. Right, of course. And there's just obvious speculation, because this is not Bill's MO. So there are influential men that date younger women all the time, and no one thinks anything of it, but this is not what Bill does. Bill married his childhood sweetheart. You have 3 decades of a marriage that produced 3 children, obviously a family man. All of his kids followed him into coaching. And then you have a relationship after his divorce. And I'm sure people were heartbroken that he got divorced. People are rooting for the childhood sweetheart love story, right? People really want that to be successful. But then he has a really committed 16-year relationship with a woman that's closer to being his peer, someone who's just 11 years younger than him, that they work together, they run a foundation together. And so that makes sense. So I think a lot of people are just watching like, hey, Bill, are you okay? Like, blink twice if you need help, because it's just not what he normally does, building sandcastles on the beach with someone who's young enough to be his granddaughter. And so of course, she's going to get a lot of hate, right? And a lot of speculation like, hey, is this transactional? You say he's your twin flame, but we're not buying it, because it doesn't feel like a fairy tale. It feels more like a fumble on Bill's part, because here he has this legacy, and is it being tarnished? That's what people are really asking right now. Like, what's happening? How does your family really feel about this? And the reason why is because, once again, it's not his MO. It's not something we're used to seeing from him. We're used to seeing him on the field, really focused, the greatest of all time, one of the iconic coaches of football history. I mean, he had a Super Bowl ring before Jordan was born. And so I think that's why people are speculating, hey, what's really going on here? I mean, she's not a child. So the narrative out there like, oh, she's just a child. No, she's 24 years old. She's an adult woman. She can make her own choices. But with those choices come other people's opinions. And she doesn't seem to be that bothered by it. So that's great. But of course, people are going to say those things. Now, I don't think that there's anything wrong with age differences. But when you have almost a 50-year age gap, people are going to say it's transactional, right? Where there's an aging ego and possibly someone who wants access to influence. And whether that's true or not, only they know. But the bottom line is that people are going to say that because it doesn't feel like a fairy tale. It feels kind of icky to a lot of people. Well, statistically, it doesn't work. So 95%, like if this would go to marriage, which I'm very skeptical that it would, because he had a 16-year relationship with someone who was his peer that didn't lead to marriage. So I don't know if he's marriage-minded at this season of his life. And that's an important thing to note. In your 70s, you're thinking about family and legacy and health, right? And in your 20s, you're thinking about exploration and discovery. Like, how much can we really have in common? Even though this relationship, I believe, is 1,000% consensual, is it compatible? And that's why 95% of May-December romances that have smaller age gaps than this one divorce if they would marry, or they just break up if they're not married. And so statistics are against them for sure. How can they make it work? I mean, if there truly is affection, if it really is truly a love story, then I guess they're going to have to figure that out. Once again, I really don't believe that age has a number for sure, but I do think that we need to match seasons of life. Are we in the same seasons? Do we want the same things? Are we focused on the same things at this time in our lives? When people ask me, like, how much is too much when it comes to age and the difference between our ages, it just matters whether or not you're on the same page in the same season. It's not about age difference. It's about life experience difference, right? It's about a power differential. A lot of times when someone's a lot older than us, it just really changes the game. And I really want to say this, that the only people that a lot of times ask me about age gaps, like, hey, how many years are too many years, are guys. So they're the ones that come to me and be like, hey, like, how young can I go as far as in dating, without seeming creepy? So they're really cognizant of, hey, I know how this is going to look to other people, and I don't want to cross some imaginary line, Jackie, so tell me where it is. And so my answer always is match seasons. Are you in the same season of life? Do you want the same things right now in this time in your life? That's kind of where you need to start.